Again, another session of our Cinco de Mayo show. It's May 5th, and to all of our Hispanic friends out there, congrats. But we've got Tamara Shoemaker now, and I don't think she's celebrating. You don't have a margarita in your hand or anything, do you? Or
Not yet.
not yet. Okay, maybe later in the day. And so she's the founder of CyberPatriot, does a bunch of things in that area. And let's talk about there may be folks that, hey, I've never heard of Cyber Patriot. What is Cyber Patriot?
So, Cyber Patriot is an international program here in the States. It's called Cyber Patriot, it's called Cyber Titans and Cyber Centurions in UK and in Canada, but it's a national K through 12 cybersecurity education program. But the twist on that is that it uses gaming and a competition to inspire the kids to want to study cybersecurity. And then we work on showing them a pathway. And we enable them to start out maybe with no experience whatsoever and be able to learn how to protect themselves online, protect their family, protect networks. So they do Cisco, Microsoft, Linux, all of those things, operating systems that they work on. And they progress from, 3 different levels of play. And then they have a national championship. The only time that it's not virtual is the year they fly them out to Baltimore, and they go head to head and have wonderful challenges that IBM, AT&T, all the usual suspects come together and help them, support this program. And that's the only time that they go actually have to be flown in and things. But again, it's a really low barrier to entry. And that's the reason that I started the Michigan CyberPatriot program, is that I knew that it was easy for me to get this program into the schools here in Michigan. And so for 10 years, I've been working on that project.
So, speaking of the program, what's coming up?
So what's coming up is obviously the same thing you just heard a minute ago from the MCWT folks. We have summer camp. So we have a summer camp this year, one in July 7th to the 11th over in Battle Creek at the Air National Guard base. We're real fortunate to be able to get there and to have that there at the Air National Guard base. Well, you have to get through security, so it's a little bit different than just walking into any building. Once you get in, are very privileged to have many of the folks that work in Cyber Command. It was a regional cyber come and be our instructors. So, I mean, talk about being able to get it right straight from, really elite team of folks, what cybersecurity is, and how, and what kind of careers you can have. And so they really do a really good job of inspiring the kids. And then, of course, I'm always looking for more volunteers to help me out during that week at Battle Creek. Again, we're the 7th, the 11th, the first 4 days we do instruction. So we do what is cybersecurity, and we get all the background on that. And then we get into what is Microsoft operating system security, what is Linux operating system security, what are some Cisco challenges for our networks that you need to know. And then on Friday is the fun day, right? Well, not that we don't throw games in there and candy and all the good refreshments and things during the week. It runs from 9 until 11. I mean, 9 until 1. And then on Friday, though, we go head to head and actually have a competition. And so not only are they competing with any other people in our state that week and that day on Friday, but they're also competing against everybody across the nation that's in camp that week. And then because we've been involved in this for so long, I get on the phone and find out how other people are doing. And we start posting our scores and sort of just kind of, hype the competition so the kids get really excited about it. And then after that, what we do is all of the instructors and even other folks from the base and other people that are important in cybersecurity comes in, and we do a career piece. We also have the parents stick around too, because we want to show them the different pathways and the different opportunities that are out there in the cybersecurity world. And so it's a very inspiring week. All of my volunteers always thank me when I'm always pathetically grateful for them that they came and they spent this time. And you can be a volunteer if all you have is an hour, or if you want to come every day during the week, 9 to 1. It really will take everyone. You do have to do a little backgrounding check to make sure that it's cool for you to be with kids. But other than that, we really want folks from different backgrounds, different cultures, all explaining to the kids what kind of career they have in cyber so that they can truly feel it and truly see themselves in it. And so that's what's going on with Cyber Patriots this summer.
And you're also the president of WESIS. Now, let's define what WESIS is for the audience? I
So
mean, it may never have heard of that before.
sure, it's another global organization, and WESIS is Women in Cybersecurity. It has also been around for quite some time, but it started out differently. It started out as only for college students, so it was a support group to advocate for college students, teach them how to do resumes, teach them how to get a job in cyber, and inspire them to be in cyber. And it's just branched out now. So now it covers all levels of folks that are in cybersecurity that want to progress. And they we're there to recruit, retain, and advocate, right? So that we get every level of career level, we help, right? And we mentor, and we get discounts on certifications, and we, work on careers. We work on what it's going to take to get to the next level, right? And so it's a group of women who are there for each other, and all are welcome. We just like MCWT, we welcome men to support us as well. So we had our first meeting of this year last week, Wednesday, at KPMG's downtown Detroit location, and we had a pretty good crowd. And again, I have to tell you, there was a ton of men there, so I was really impressed with the men that are lending support to this worthy cause to make sure we get more women involved in cybersecurity, and we support them through that process. And so it was pretty exciting to see that. They'll have other meetings over the summer and into the fall, and so I am definitely looking forward to that. But I think the thing that's most important about what's coming up for WESIS Michigan is that we're going to have an open election for. So if you're a member of WESIS Global and WESIS Michigan, you have the opportunity to volunteer for the executive board. So open positions will be the president's position, the vice president, the treasurer, and the secretary, and that's the executive board. And then we have other positions that are appointed from that board. And so we are going to be opening that up to the entire state to have that happen in June. So folks can take a look at our LinkedIn and our website, and they can find out about when that release comes. So it'll come on through as a request, you need to reply to this request and put it, send in your form so that we can consider you to put you on the ballot. And then towards the end of the month, I think on the 23rd, they're going to do the vote for those board members. And so, and those folks are the ones that are going to be inspiring for the rest of us, the strategy for the state and what we're going to do next.
Well, finally, with the last 4 or 5 minutes we have left, how are the book sales going? And we should define what the book is. Again, people may
Sure.
not understand what you're doing there. Start with that.
Absolutely. Sure. So, because for the last 10 years I've been traveling across the state, talking to the middle school and high school teachers, trying to inspire them to take on Cyber Patriot, because Cyber Patriot is an after school program. I realize they really don't have the support that they need to integrate cyber into their IT function. When I talk to these teachers that are IT folks, they sometimes don't even have really very backgrounds in IT. And so it occurred to me that we needed to give them some resources. And while there's a ton of resources out there for them to take into the classroom, where do you start? How do you know what you should be doing where and when, and at what depth? And so I twisted my husband's arm, who's written 15 books about cybersecurity and all of the guidelines and all of the frameworks in cyber, and said, we need a book for the teachers. We need to be able to break it down to them so that's easy for them, so that they know exactly where to start, what resources are out there, and at what level the different students at the different levels, middle school, high school, that kind of thing, what they should be learning. And so, of course, he focused in cyber. So what they'll be teaching when they get to the college level, what's appropriate to teach in middle school and high school. And so we broke it down in that way. And it's a conversation. Not like mine. Well, his books are pretty cool, I have to say, even if I am his wife. Normally, though, when you look at a standard or a guideline or something, it is legal speak, it is govy speak, and it is 500-600 pages long, and it's a good way to go to sleep normally. And so the way that he wrote this one is in conversation. So it's a high school teacher who was tapped to add cybersecurity into their IT function. And trust me, this is happening all over the country. Suddenly teachers are tapped this curriculum into their stuff, but they're not given any training or any to do that, right? And so I wanted to make it as easy as we could. And so this is a conversation between a high school teacher, a middle school teacher, and a college professor. So this IT teacher actually has background, the high school teacher, but he doesn't know where to start or what depth to do or whatever. All he would know is exactly the way he learned, and is that the way he should be teaching in high school? So he gets a hold of his college professor, and the college professor said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, wait a minute. Let's break it down to what's appropriate at what age and at what depth." And so they have this conversation throughout the book through all the different areas about what level, and what depth, and how it will seamlessly then take them. If they do that, it will seamlessly take them to when they're in college. So in college, they may not need to take some of those lower level classes because they've already had them in high school. So that means they can sort of get to college and start running, go as fast as they can into the next classes and really start getting to the meat of this problem. And, maybe it speed things up for us because we really need them out there, don't we? Like, we need them to be in the job working right now. And so the faster we can get them through that process, the better. And the more we can help the teachers, right? So if I can give them the resources that they need, I won't feel quite so bad when I ask them to, do this after school program, because the after school program starts out as an after school program, but ends up being incorporated into their curriculum, and their students end up graduating with certs, something I had to work really hard for after, right? And they're expensive too. So the point that they can get them while they're in high school and then move on to college and go quickly into the higher level classes is what we were all about, is why we wrote this book. And it's doing pretty good. In fact, he gets kind of frustrated with me because he's written 15 other books in this field, cybersecurity, and this one sells the best.
Mm.
So I do catch a little bit of flack for that, but it's also allowed us to when we the profit that we make from this we put back into it, and I'm able to buy books for teachers in Michigan, actually across the country, and send them out when they inquire about it. And that sort of is why we did this, is to make sure that this information gets in the hands of the middle school and high school teachers. And then the one thing that we didn't count on is a lot of folks who are finding out about the book that are just new to cyber, and they're checking, to make sure they're doing the right thing and that they know the right things and maybe where they need to fill in on their knowledge, skills, and abilities. So it's been a fun journey, Mike.
Okay, and so if folks want to find out about the two organizations and the book, give us that information.
Sure. So www.MICyberPatriot.com. If you want to order a copy of the book, you can just go onto Amazon and put in teaching cybersecurity and my name, and it pops up. So, or
And
my
then
husband's.
WISIS, how do they reach out to WISIS?
So WESIS is also we could LinkedIn, and we have a Michigan WESIS site on LinkedIn, and that's probably the easiest way for me to tell you, because our Google Michigan WESIS, you probably can also Google it, Michigan WESIS affiliate, and it will come up. But the URL for our Michigan WESIS is not something that just rolls off the tongue.
Ah, well,